Okay, fellow Nigerians, you know a lot of us, they complain about cost of living crisis, economic hardship, inflation, and all of that. Now, part of the reason why some people don't go put their hand for this thing they call CBEX now, where some people get depression, some want to commit suicide. Because Nigerians, we always like to get extra cash. Now, God will help these CBEX people now. But we all fail to put our attention on some of the very important issues where they cause increase in economic hardship and cost of living for this country. You know that one of the major commodities where they cause increase in cost of living and even transportation for Nigeria, now price of fuel and petroleum products. And that is why everybody must begin to pay attention to what they go on in the oil sector. This video is to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because Mr. President, you are also Minister for Petroleum. And then Minister for State Petroleum, Honorable Henikin Lokobiri, Minister for State Gas Resources, Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpo, the NNPCL, and every other player in the oil sector. In the name of God, we must completely and sincerely sanitize the oil sector in the best interest of Nigerians, because this country continues to remain an oil-dependent economy. We have refused and failed to diversify. Mr. President, President Tinubu, on your inauguration in 2023, you made a bold statement. You said subsidy regime is gone. Until date, Nigerians are struggling to find out whether our lives they better under subsidy regime or now where they remove subsidy, because we are yet to feel the impact. The main issue is not just the payment of subsidy in Nigeria. The problem with Nigeria is the corruption and criminality in the oil sector. If you remove the corruption and criminality from Nigeria's subsidy regime, Nigeria can even afford to be paying the subsidy. Yes, because subsidy is paid in different countries in different forms. But the problem is corruption and criminality. So now where government don't talk, say they want to deregulate the downstream sector and follow the Petroleum Industry Act, we must ensure that the same corruption where crippled the economy and crippled the petroleum sector in the past does not continue to fester. The same corruption when make we say for Nigeria today. For years with the government, they budget billions to service and maintain refineries that produce nothing for the economy and for the people. Every AK market, they want NNPC GMD go come out and tell you, Port Harcourt refinery will start to produce on Monday, on Friday, on Saturday. Till today, go, no go, come, no come. We don't start again. We want to deregulate, we want to deregulate. Petroleum Industry Act says we must protect local refineries and domestic production. But the end game of it all must also be protecting the Nigerian people, the welfare of the people. Today, Dangote Refinery is in court with other marketers for the issue of issuing of license to importers to bring petrol products into the country. The marketers, they argue, say, why should Nigerians be buying the products at a higher price, more expensive, when it is produced and refined locally, when Nigerians can buy it at a cheaper price from the one where they go import come? Both arguments, they get their own case. In fact, the chief judge in the High Court in Abuja is strike out the case, joining in FCCPC to the lawsuit. He said they do not have any grounds to be part of that lawsuit. But Nigerian government, we must not be bad students of history. We must take into consideration the life and the welfare of the people. We should have the benefit of hindsight. We know what happened with cement. We know what happened with sugar. We must not be able to create another situation where there is monopoly in a sector that shuts out every other person who should be able to compete favorably in that sector. We want to protect local production and local refining. At whose cost and at whose interest? Nigerians are suffering. The cost of living is high. We must ensure that we do not sleepwalk into another situation where they become predatory pricing. You begin to see monopoly. At the end, tomorrow they go talk, say, oh, they don't bring down the cost a little, which is now cheaper than other people own. And then at the end, we have been able to completely obfuscate people who could have done well in the sector. Nigerian government, corruption is the killer. Naim don't destroy everything for this country. We don't start again with this one now. If we want to implement the PIA, then we must sincerely and honestly implement it to the latter and not cherry pick what part of it we want to implement. At the end of it, who is the government working to protect? Is it the independent marketer? Is it the Dangote refinery? Or is it the Nigerian people? I think the loyalty of every government must be to the people. And government must find common ground to ensure that this product does not become another weapon that is fashioned against Nigerians. We have suffered too much. Help us with this issue of oil sector criminality. In the name of God. May God bless Nigeria. My name is Peter for Nigeria.
1.3 billion, okay, 1.3 trillion was what was collected from Nigerians. Wow. My question is it only Nigerians that, invested in this Ponzi scheme? Some people say, oh, it's not a Ponzi scheme. That is something that came as a forex trading and they did it. It's not Ponzi scheme. But the question is still, why invest so much? Normally, people who are honest in all this will say, do not invest what you cannot let go. Invest something small. Don't put your investment in this kind of thing. And you remember just recently, one Nigerian comedian said that he put his money in an investment and lost everything. I'm sure it's one of these investments, because the amount of money people are mentioning. There's somebody I know, he lost $10,000 and $8,000. So now I don't know if that's what the person invested, because the person sounds like that's what he invested in this particular scheme. There are people I'm seeing that they invested $100,000, some $35,000. This is a serious matter. Is it not better for you to use that money and do a business of buying and selling that you can see? Like Peter said, this guy who is talking, like he mentioned, that is a cost of living that is making people to put their hands in other means of survival, instead of just waiting in one place and thinking that everything will be all right. It is lack of, how to survive, or the cost of living in Nigeria, and that's why he feels that they should look into the petroleum sector, because Nigeria is solely dependent. Forget about every other thing they are doing. Nigeria is solely dependent on petroleum. So he's saying that they should look into the sector. And who is the MD, or who is in charge? Who is the Minister of Petroleum? It is the president. How can a president be president and also become Minister of Petroleum? That is what Buhari did. In the time of Buhari, he was president and became Minister for Petroleum. And at the end of the day, there was still a lot of theft ongoing in that ministry. So it's better, because they say, oh, Diziani stole so much money during her time under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and you can see that everybody who said Goodluck Ebele Jonathan didn't do well, they are the ones who are not even, in fact, they didn't even just try, not to talk of doing well. It's really a sad one. I don't know where Nigeria is headed, but the truth remains that we cannot continue keeping quiet and thinking things will get better in this country. Now we are this Peter who is speaking, who just spoke before I started this voiceover. He keeps talking about us reforming INEC, because the truth is, if you don't reform INEC, these leaders will still, get themselves back into power, whether legally or illegally, like directly or indirectly, they will get themselves into power. So it's not better for you guys to do the right thing, so that you don't, become a victim of circumstance. If you ask me, that's my honest opinion on this matter. That's my honest opinion. Because tell me why a man called Buhari will see things happening in different sectors and they are quiet about it. And you see why I keep saying that Burkina Faso is the only country in Africa that is doing well, in Niger and Mali. They are the only 3 countries that their leaders are looking out for them. The rest are just doing hanky-panky. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section, and I'll see you guys in our next one. Until then, keep being amazing. Drop your thoughts on the comment section. Bye.